So welcome back. So we learned about the forEach method on arrays. However, forEach is also available on maps and sets. So let's take a smaller detour now. So see how forEach works with the maps and with the sets. We are going to start with the maps, and for that let's just cut these currencies maps that we have up here. Okay. So this one we'll just paste it down here. And remember that in the arrays of arrays, each of these array elements that in inner array will be the one entry of the map where it is the key and this is the value. So key and value. All right. So we can just call for each also on a map. So let me just show you that here. So here we'll just say currencies dot for each of function of here we have this values, and then here we have the key, and then here we have the map. Okay. So as you can notice here, this function here is the callback function here, and here the values, if you see here, this is the current value in the current iteration. Okay. And as you see, this is very similar to the arrays, where in the arrays the first parameter is the current element of the array, and the second one is the index, and the third one is the entire array. So let's just say here console.log. Here we need the key, and then here we need the value. We got our output C. So here we got the key of the each of the map entries and then also the value. All right. So let's now try with the same thing with the sets. So here it is the maps which we got. So here it is the maps which we got, and then here now we'll declare the sets. Okay. So in the sets, let me just here create a constant here, currencies unique. So here we'll just set this to new set. So here we'll just say here I have here USD, and then here GBP, and then here we'll just say USD, and then here Euro. So okay, we have this constant which is of multiples. So let me just say console.log currency is unique. So when we run this, as you can see here, we got our set. So here, as you see here, the set is of only 3. So it means it removed the duplicate values. Okay. So indeed here it has the unique value as expected. So let's now call for each on this set as well. So let me just say here currency is unique dot for each of function here, and then here let me just say here the value, and then here the key, and then here the map. Okay, here we'll just simply copy this, and then here we'll just paste it. So when we run, as you can see here, the value is not defined. So and there is no value that makes sense for the key. All right, so essentially the key here makes no sense at all, so it wouldn't even have to be there. So the people who designed for this for each method for sets, they could have simply omitted the second argument, right? So if they did that, then the for each would have the different from the others, so that would then create the confusion in developers, and therefore it was decided to keep the same signature. So basically to keep the same 3 parameters in this callback function, and simply to set the second one to the first one, and then we can just write the values here as well. So here we are just getting the value here, the key we don't require. So if you can use the value here also, so even though you are getting error, and here also we don't need a value, so here we'll just say value and value. See, here we are getting error. So in order to bypass this error, there is a, so if we simply just use this underscore here, and then when we run it, as you can see here, the output is set to this way, USD to USD and euro to euro this way. So why is that it is set like this? Because the key here, as you can see, which is the key here, is exactly same as the value. Well, a set does not have a keys, right? So it doesn't have the index either. So that is why we just changed here, it is into the values. So that is why here we got, and we cannot duplicate the parameters name. And so now we just use an underscore here, which in JavaScript means throwaway variable. So that means a variable that is completely unnecessary. So just a convention which we'll use again a little bit later. Okay, so now it is working well. That's all we needed about the for each method for maps and sets. So it's very straightforward if you already understood how it works for arrays, but for maps and sets it is not that much important. Okay, with that we are done with this video.